Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of The Right Side with Doug Billings. Don't forget to check out my friend at thecommandersartist.com. The prints are patriotic, the artwork is exquisite, and it's top shelf, as we say. The portrait hanging behind me on the wall of President Trump is called My Chosen Leader. It's just one of many of the patriotic pieces of art that you'll find at thecommandersartist.com. International shipping is available. Check him out, thecommandersartist.com. Cheers. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thank you very much indeed for watching us. We are excited to be here with you again today. Don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification button so that you get notifications of all of our future shows. You're going to want to stick around and be part of the program, especially on March 2nd. March 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. General Michael Flynn will be right back here on The Right Side with Doug Billings. He has not been on very many newscasts or interviews lately, and we're honored and we're blessed that he's chosen this program. So mark your calendars, March 2nd. And we confirmed the other day that along with General Flynn, a big name, someone who you all know, someone who you will all be excited to hear from. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. Aren't I just a tease? March 2nd, you'll find out who the guest is with General Michael Flynn, a huge name. We're, again, equally blessed and honored to have this person join us as well. And we will endeavor to answer questions and speak candidly with both of them. March 2nd, right here on The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thank you. All right. Now, so I just want to give some quick reminders, some quick hit reminders today about what's going on and things that you should keep in mind with regards to news of the day and with regards to the way that we need to, as conservatives in not only America but around the world, how we need to march forward, keeping our eye on the ball, and making sure that we don't miss anything. It's only been a few weeks, less than a month. Reminder number one, less than a month, and Administrator Biden has caused the loss of over 280,000 jobs. More people filing for unemployment again, on the uptick. He's deepened the national depression level of school-aged children all across the country. He's attacked the livelihoods of union members, union jobs with regards to the Keystone Pipeline. He's not been able to manage vaccines for California. They're running out. He's also pissed off Canada. They're angry with us because of the Keystone Pipeline. Not angry with us. They're angry with Administrator Biden. And now he's threatening to shut down the state of Florida with regards to national travel, right? Governor DeSantis, rightly so, outraged about that, where you have Administrator Biden welcoming illegal aliens into the country without going through any kind of tests of health and so forth. He's threatening to shut down the state of California to national travel. Commie socialists, ladies and gentlemen. Reminder number two, with regards to Governor Cuomo in New York, there has got to be a grand jury investigation into this guy and his administration. You know, forcing nursing homes to take COVID patients. Not a good thing. And to think that there are some people out there who used to think that Cuomo was trying to save lives. It's astounding. And then reminder number three, you know, one of the problems, and I've talked about it on this show, is that with regards to President Trump and his administration and the access that people have to his inner circle, the people that were quote-unquote vetted, although I don't think they were very well, and allowed into President Trump's inner circle is a problem. And more of these people have been coming out and turning on President Trump and becoming disloyal to him. And these disloyal Republicans have got to go. They've got to be primaried and eliminated from elected office. If we can't, we just can't support people that haven't and are not anymore supporting President Trump. The latest in the news, Nikki Haley. Not currently in office, I grant you that, but she's coming out and talking about a possible run, and people are beginning to speculate about her. True conservatives across America will not support Nikki Haley. She has stabbed President Trump not only in the back, but in the heart as well, and not going to happen, and she's therefore disqualified for consideration. Those are folks who we can't have, are the fakes, the non-loyal folks in there, the ones that would now turn their back in face of the mob and possible criticism. People that have voted in favor of this sham impeachment going on right now, just to speak calmly and candidly with this about you, in the House of Representatives, you know this list. There's Liz Cheney of Wyoming, Anthony Gonzalez of Ohio, Jamie Herrera Butler of Washington, John Kotko of New York, Adam Kinzinger, and Kinzinger, he's a real beauty, not even close to being a Republican, out of Illinois, Peter Mayer of Michigan, Dan Newhouse of Washington, Tom Rice, South Carolina. He's also been rumored to be a partner with Nikki Haley in a possible run. Not going to happen. They may run, but they're not going to be elected. And then Fred Upton of Michigan in the House, and Dan Valadao of California. All of the House of Representative, quote-unquote, Republicans, actually they're rhinos who have come out in favor of the sham impeachment. And I'm just making you aware so that you can keep track. People in these states need to keep track so that they can be eliminated from public office by virtue of the vote, which we will fix. Our priority number one, I know that when I say we've got to vote these people out, many of you immediately go, well, how can we with a sham system that's broken? If you've seen me enough, you realize I say that's our number one priority, fixing the system, clearly, number one. And in the Senate, you have the regular cast of characters, Susan Collins from Maine. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana was a latecomer to agreeing that the impeachment might be constitutional. It's not, but Bill Cassidy of Louisiana is on the list. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Mitt Romney, usually, always there, Utah. You've got Ben Sasse of Nebraska. He's another real beauty. He's got to go. Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania. And so if you're in those states, vote them out. We can't have any patience anymore. And those are the quick hits for this morning that I wanted to touch on. Now, the sham impeachment, again, not going to spend a ton of time on this because it's been covered ad nauseum in the mainstream media. Most of you with interest in it have been watching it on Newsmax or OAN, okay, and all well and good. But it's a sham. It's too ridiculous to pay it much attention on this program. It's been covered everywhere else. But I will say a few things about it because we need to, once this is over, once this circus show is over, there's one particular bill that I'm going to talk to you about that we need to keep our eye on. And we need to be aware of what the communist socialists will be doing after this impeachment sham is over. So they're going to be putting forth a piece of legislation probably as early as next week, depending on when the impeachment trial wraps up. But never mind. They're the communist socialists. You've seen their views. You've seen the video clips. I don't need to play them here. Every one of the Democrat communist socialists who have come forth, including Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and others, have all said abhorrent things about President Trump, more so than what he ever said in his speech on January 6th, which was, quite frankly, a perfect speech. I mean, as I've said before, President Trump is famous for making perfect phone calls and giving perfect speeches. But you'll see, I mean, you've seen these viral video clips, I don't need to play them here, of all of the communist socialist key players saying absolutely horrible things about the president, about wanting to do him harm and inflicting violence upon him. And it's just part of their playbook. That's who they are. They instigated the riots that we endured last summer. That was their electoral base that burned down cities that are run and managed by members of the Communist Socialist Party. We don't need to relive it here. But I do want to remind you, keep your eye on what's going to be coming down the pike next week with regards to legislation. And remember that it's catastrophic fear that drives the communist socialists, the catastrophic fear they have of President Trump and what he can do. Now, he's one man, President Trump. President Trump can't drain the swamp by himself. He can't root out and get rid of the rhinos and the globalists by himself. He needs us to help him. And I've talked to you also about determined patriotism, and that's the hard work of it all, getting involved in the local level and pushing forward. School boards, community legislatures, it's all very important. And I'm going to end the program today when I get to that point with hope about elections. Although we lost the big prize, the big prize was stolen from us, however you want to phrase it, there were a lot of other victories that we need to focus on. But with regards to the commie socialists and how they're treating President Trump now and how they've treated him in the past, it's purely catastrophic fear, and it's beyond partisanship. It's beyond politics. It's rooted in evil. It's rooted in the fact that they want to politically assassinate his career so that he can never run for office again. I first said this back in November after the election, and other mainstream media hosts and podcasters have picked up on that. They just don't want Trump to be eligible for office. And so, therefore, here we are in a circus show going on right now with a sham impeachment. But it is not to be mistaken, the evil that the commie socialists put forth. It's not to be mistaken for what it really is, the work of the enemy. And all of you good people out there know who the enemy is. He is real, and he's active in this world, and he is all around and wrapping his arms tight around the Commie Socialist Party. It's the perfect recipe, really, when you have people in a political party who engage in hate, anger, malice, and violence. You see, the enemy loves that. The enemy inspires that, and the Commie Socialists have embraced it, and that's where they're going. So it's evil. That's why I've said to you there is no more Democratic Party. The Democratic Party of John Kennedy is long, long gone. What we have now is the Commie Socialists. And they are, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, be clear about this, they are no longer an American political party. Now, beyond the impeachment scam, as I said, there is something lurking out there that you need to be aware of. Congress, now controlled by the Commie Socialists, both houses, it's a bill entitled H.R. 1. H.R. 1. Now, that does not stand for Human Resources 1, in case you were from Raytown, Missouri. H.R. 1 is extremely important. You need to educate yourself about it, do some research on it. And I'm going to share some specifics about the bill here with you. But beyond me, as I've always said, do your research, consider multiple sources of information, and then make up your own minds. Look, you in this audience are the most intellectually mature group of people in all of podcast land. You understand this. For those of you that are new and just joining, and for people that may be on the bad side of things, I just want to remind everyone, I'm fully aware of the intellectual maturity that this audience has, and we are continually battling against the intellectual immaturity of the liberals. But it's just extremely important that you educate yourselves about this bill, especially if you're like me and you believe that election integrity should be our number one priority going forward as conservatives. So I'm going to post the bill right up here over my shoulder and read you portions of it. And if you can't read it on the screen, I think you'll be able to, but in case you can't, I'm going to read it to you, what's up there, and I'll provide translations for you. You see, what they really intended to do with this bill is one thing, and what the words on the page are quite a different thing. And so we need to decipher the words of the Commie Socialist Party. We always have needed to interpret them, and so I'm here to help you do that. Now, I'm going to read and translate the highlights. Certainly not going to read the entire bill, for crying out loud, because I'm aware of really, as I look at this and what I'm here to do for you, there's only a handful of people, ladies and gentlemen, on the entire planet that can give you the precise translation of liberal speak and especially commie socialist speak. And I am prepared to provide you that service. I'm prepared to right now provide you the translation to the commie socialist lies in this bill. All right, so here it is, House Resolution 1. It's called, in other words, otherwise known as the For the People Act of 2019. Keep in mind, this thing actually passed the House back in March of 2019. And since at that time the Republicans held control of the Senate, it didn't go anywhere. But now that they do have the Senate and the Congress and the House of Representatives, we need to be careful. So the sponsor of the bill was John Sarbanes. He's from Maryland. He's a commie socialist. And specifically, the bill expands, and here's where we need to be careful, and I'll translate for you, and I'm just going to read it. The bill expands voter registration. Okay? These words are important. The bill expands voter registration and voting access. And it limits, get this, it limits removing voters from voter rolls. Very important words. Now, you can imagine, I'm sure some of you out there are going, oh boy, yeah, look what they're doing. So again, the bill expands voter registration and voting access and limits removing voters from voter rolls. So here's the translation, ladies and gentlemen. What that sentence really means: anybody can vote. Anybody's going to be able to vote. That's what that sentence means in its simplest form. Illegals, the dead, no, not the rock group, dead people, those who are too young to vote, those who aren't registered to vote, felons, people in jail, people who are in different states, people who vote multiple times. That's what they're shooting for here. That's what, believe me, this is how they are. It's not at all outrageous. The next bullet point in the bill provides for states to establish independent, nonpartisan redistricting commissions. The bill provides for states to establish independent, nonpartisan redistricting commissions. There's a double meaning in that, ladies and gentlemen. The translation: the commie socialists are going to redistrict states according to voter numbers and populations to suit their own needs, so that it will be virtually impossible to vote them out once they're in. Just look at Nancy Pelosi in California. She's redistricted her state, her community, her county, and makes it virtually impossible. Now, that doesn't mean that we're facing a hopeless situation. I'll get to that in a minute. The next bullet point: the bill sets forth provisions for election security, sharing intelligence information, protecting the security of voter rolls, and supporting states in securing their election systems, developing a national strategy to protect the security and integrity of United States democratic institutions, and other provisions to improve, and here you go, to improve the cyber security of election systems. Now, how many of you out there had a red flag when you hear the word cyber security? The translation of this bullet point, ladies and gentlemen, is the commie socialists are going to secure voter rolls. That's from the bill. Secure voter rolls. That means you're not going to be allowed to see them, my dear Republicans. We will secure them. We're going to secure them with lock and key, with boarding up windows and rooms and doors so that you can't get in. We're going to secure them because we're going to have people who are ineligible to vote on these voter rolls. We're going to have the dead, the young, the people in jail, the felons, the non-citizens. Right. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Supporting the states and securing their election systems means that Dominion will be more and more involved going forward if the commie socialists have their way. Basically, when they say we're going to protect the democratic institutions in the country, that means we're going to prevent our side from losing, and we're going to put forth ways to cheat with regards to cybersecurity. And Lord knows who will have access to these systems in cyberland. If Mike Lindell's brilliant documentary is correct, then we have only our imaginations and the proof that he put forward as the fodder for our concerns about all of this. So the bill also requires, I thought it was funny as we get to the end of the bill, you've got to, anybody that runs for president or vice president must supply the past 10 years of their personal tax returns. And I find it amusing, I guess, just because that's obviously a dig against President Trump. We should all keep in mind that there is no law on the books whatsoever that requires any vice president or president candidate, either before elected or after elected, to provide tax returns. It's just, it's hysterical that the commie socialists allow President Trump to live rent-free in their heads. I guess that's why I'm chuckling. So anyway, there it is. So they want to control the way that we vote. They want to control the systems, and H.R. 1 is something that you need to keep your eyes on, please. Please. Okay? Now, switching gears to, I want to talk a little bit about cancel culture, but I also want to segue by talking about Aunt Jemima. Now, and specifically, from the files of the wrong way to rebrand a product, I want to talk about the popular Aunt Jemima brand that went off to the great pancake house in the sky because Quaker Oats, which is owned incidentally by Pepsi, they decided that Aunt Jemima was part of now the cancel culture. It wasn't politically correct to use her image as it was depicted on the product. So now we have the Pearl Milling Company, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we remember Aunt Jemima. When I was a kid, I grew up watching the commercials and having the pancakes and the syrup. It was delicious. And now the Pearl Milling Company, which is about as big of a swing and miss as you can get, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to advertising and the rebranding of a product. Now, to the casual observer out there, you know, some of you might be going, well, that's ridiculous, Doug. Why in the world is a program like yours talking about rebranding Aunt Jemima? We want some heavy-hitting news. We want, you know, things like H.R. 1 and the things that we need to keep our eyes and ears open for. Well, I'm telling you about Aunt Jemima because we've got to keep our eyes open about this as well. This is how our culture gets erased. This is how the commie socialists fundamentally transform America. This is dangerous, and this is significant, Aunt Jemima is, the canceling of her. Today, just a pancake mix, right? Tomorrow, it's our liberties, it's our rights, it's our freedoms. It's already happening. The cancel culture, there was a time not in the far distant past where they were covert, at least, in their attempts to erase history and our culture. Now you've got things like the 1619 Project, and we did a show on that a couple of weeks ago, comparing it to the 1776 report, where in the 1619 Project, they're literally in our schools adopting curriculums that erase the truth about our founding fathers, specifically with regards to their views of slavery. So this is exactly how cultures get erased. It's exactly the kinds of simple things that we need to be aware of. And if it's not enough to cancel a cultural icon off of a product box, let me remind you that just last week, actually early this week, the commie socialists canceled the career of an actress because she happened to tweet some things that didn't align with the commie socialist ideologies. Gina Carano, she's the actress. She plays the character Cara Dune on the Disney Plus series called The Mandalorian, which is a spin-off of the Star Wars saga. And Lucasfilms just canceled her because of her posts on some of her social media platforms. They say, of course, it's too controversial. And I have the statement from Lucasfilms here. I'll read it to you. You can draw your own conclusions. I'm telling you, this is how they cancel us. This is how they get rid of us. They said that Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilms, and there are no plans for her to be so in the near future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Okay, so that's from Lucasfilms, which begs the question, what in the world did she say? What could she have possibly posted that would cause her, an actress, to lose her job, her livelihood? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what she posted in just a minute in context of what she said. Not, and these YouTube gods, these are not my words. They are her words. But so to frame this, remember, this is what they do. The left, liberals, they speak a big game about giving you free stuff, helping you with your education and healthcare costs, being tolerant of all groups. But you, being members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land, know that that's not true. In fact, if you disagree with any of their platforms or their ideologies or their politics, they will cancel you. And it's happened again right here. So again, I'm going to read you the post from the actress. These are not my words, censors, YouTube, and so forth. It was on Instagram, and she simply said that back in the time of Jews, in World War II, Jews were beaten in the streets, which is true, right, ladies and gentlemen, right? And they were not always beat by Nazi soldiers, but sometimes by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where the German soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different, she says, from hating someone for their political views? So that's what she said. Historically based, factually true. Nothing in there is bullying. Nothing in there is threatening anybody. Nothing in there is a lie. So the post was taken down Wednesday. There was another post that she put up with a meme of somebody who was wearing multiple cloth masks on their face. So, like the masks were, several inches out from their face because there were so many masks on it, right? Her caption on the photo was, "Welcome to California." That was it. So she's making a joke about a serious topic. Again, no threatening, no bullying, no talking bad about a certain group or demographic of people. It was a meme, ladies and gentlemen. And she was saying, meanwhile in California, to encapsulate what her own personal beliefs are about the mask. She didn't condemn the masks outright. And then she said finally that she put another post up, expecting everyone you encounter to agree with every belief or view you hold is effing wild. So all of a sudden, her fans blew up. Well, not her fans backed her up, but people on social media, fans of the show who are in the commu-socialist camp, blew up, Twitter, Instagram, etc. There was a huge drive to, fire the actress, fire her, get rid of her, and they became a mob, as they usually do in these kinds of situations, because if God forbid, somebody in the public square says something they don't agree with, they will be lynched. They will be done away with. They'll be, excommunicated from society. Their livelihoods will be ruined. So that's what happened to this actress on The Mandalorian. And she was in line to become one of the leads in yet another spin-off series. All of that's now gone. Her livelihood erased and her show canceled. Now, The Mandalorian is continuing, but her spin-off show was or at least her role in that show, canceled. So, again, we as conservatives believe that we improve the society by improving ourselves, by having a free exchange of information, listening to other opinions, debating issues openly and honestly. And as we improve our individuality, the society therefore improves, which is logical, it's intellectually mature, and it's the truth. That's how societies are improved, when we focus on improving the individual and becoming the best version of ourselves. But the commu-socialists' opinion about improving society is that the commu-socialists, must thrust their politics upon you. That's how they think culture and society is improved, and they're wrong about that, as you know. So I just felt terrible for this Gina Carano, a career perhaps derailed, and we know that the cultural Hollywood elites are there's a lot of them out there that will not allow you to be part of their elite group unless you hold the exact same values of commu-socialism as they do. So, anyway, enough of the dark and the depressing. I want to give you some hope and to focus now on some good news that actually happened back during the election process and that goes forward even today, because we do, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we're 2 years away. We have an election for the House of Representatives, several governorships, and so forth throughout the United States in 2022. Now, I'm going to preface this again by reminding you, our number one priority as conservatives in the United States and around the world, wherever you are watching this thing, and I know there are thousands upon thousands of you from other countries because I see your messages in the comments, our number one priority as conservatives on a global scale is to make sure that wherever we are, whatever local community that we're in and whatever country that we're in, is that our election integrity is trustworthy, that we trust the results of all elections, and we fix ones that are broken, all right? Top priority, without a doubt. If we don't focus on that, it's a mistake. So the last elections in the United States, we had our chosen candidate is not currently in the Oval Office. I grant you that. We have now Administrator Biden. Yeah, we don't have President Trump. We have Administrator Biden. And I understand that we're all a bit disappointed. But ladies and gentlemen, the last elections in November, they were not all controversial, and nor did Republicans lose. In fact, we hardly lost at all. We were, if you look back, really, we were huge winners in the last election. The House of Representatives, do you know, ladies and gentlemen, right now, we are 5 seats away from having the majority in the House of Representatives, where we can say so long, sayonara, and goodbye, adios, to Nancy Pelosi. Just 5 seats. We kept every single incumbent seat in the House of Representatives last November. Every single one of the Republicans that were up for re-election won. And in the 27 races that were too close to call by the pollsters, Republicans won every single one of them. All of those toss-up states, all of those ones that we thought, well, we don't know which way it's going to go, they all went the right side. They all went our way. So let's look forward to 2022. We have a midterm election. House of Representatives is on the line. We've got the National Congressional Republican Committee that is going to look to target 47 Democrats who are vulnerable in that election. And if they're vulnerable then, they're vulnerable now. So we will see what happens. But there's every reason to be hopeful. Clearly, we didn't get our way. We have things to remedy with regards to the election system to work through, and we will endeavor to do it. We will meet in determined prayer, all of us together, and we'll do the hard work of determined patriotism. And Texas also has 3 seats that will probably go our way, and a couple of more down in the Rio Grande Valley region where Administrator Biden didn't do too well either. And speaking of Texas, they have a governor race coming up. The Abbott is there's other people that are challenging Governor Abbott, and I would like you to do something for me. For those of you who live in Texas, look into and do your research on a candidate by the name of Chad Prather. Now, Chad is a famous guy. He has a huge social media platform. He's got a Blaze television show. Just a great all-around guy. He was very nice to me early in when I was starting the show, and I would just appreciate it if you check his candidacy out, do your research, and see if you wouldn't want to give your vote to Chad Prather. Chad, if you're watching, my brother, thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done for the program. Thanks for your friendship to me and the show, for all of the advice and the help that you've given along the way. I appreciate it. Good luck to you in that campaign, brother. But ladies and gentlemen, we do have a pack of blessings in our back, and we need to be reminded of that daily. Not everything goes our way every day. And believe me, I'm in tune with that reality, and we will endeavor together. So let's promise each other that we take inventory of that pack of blessings that is always there upon our back. Take inventory of it daily. Let's meet with each other every day in determined prayer and work hard in determined patriotism. And as General Flynn said, hold the wine. Not only will we hold the line, we will hold the wine. And remember, on March 2nd, praying that the channel survives that long here, we will have General Flynn on the program. Yeah, General Flynn, right back here on the right side with Doug Billings. He hasn't been out and doing very many interviews lately. We're happy and blessed, very grateful that he's chosen this program to do that. And along with General Flynn, another high-profile, big name who you've all heard of will be on the program with General Flynn. I'm not going to tell you who that is. You'll have to wait and see on March 2nd. We will record the show in the morning, and it should drop sometime around the dinner time hour in the United States. General Flynn and another really big name joining him. Excited about that. Hope that you mark your calendars for it. Subscribe to this channel and set the reminder tab. We're also over on Rumble, so make sure that you head over there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all of the success you've allowed us to have here on this program. 5 million people in January tuned into the show. God bless you. Let's continue to meet in determined prayer, please, for each other. I'll have your back if you have mine. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless the United States. God bless you around the world in whatever country you're in. God bless your countries everywhere. And we will meet again, wherever that may be, right here on the right side with Doug Billings. Cheers.